Coming to you almost live from the Herbert I. Greenberg Studios at WHIG, it's Up Late with Sam Bass.
Thank you, Scott Smith. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Up Late with Sam Bass. That's me, by the way. I'm Sam Bass. Just in case you're kind of new to the area or you've been up on the International Space Station. I don't think WIG signal reaches up there. So anyway, before we dive into tonight's show, I want to take a moment to thank our new presenting sponsor, Sparkling Creations. Whether you're planning a wedding, birthday party, or any special event, Sparkling Creations has got you covered with their premier party rental, event planning services, from bounce houses to elegant centerpieces. Man, they got it all out there. They even have a mechanical bull. So it sounds like there may be some kind of a nemesis challenge coming up with that bull. Who knows? But I will tell you, if you want to see their work, make sure you get tickets to the Chambers Oyster Roast. You will actually see them in action out there. That's coming up on October 17th. So also, I want to take a minute to mention our other incredible sponsor, Metro Maintenance. Metro Maintenance, they have been providing fast, reliable service to our community since the 1980s, back when I was a wee lad. Big hair, big shoulder pads, and even bigger service. Whether you need heating, cooling, electrical, plumbing, or just general repairs, Metro has got you covered. Their team will make sure everything is top-notch every time. So look no further than Metro Maintenance. Hey, and visit their website to learn more. Robbie, if you can pop that up, I'd appreciate it. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Phil's Music Exchange. Phil's a great guy. He's over in Wilson. He's got a location here in Rocky Mount as well. So if you're looking for a treasure trove of musical goodies, Phil's has you covered. CDs, DVDs, cassettes, even 8-tracks, which I have bought there, video games, and more. They also do audio video repairs. So you can shop online, you can go in store. You're going to find everything you need for your music collection. And so do yourself a favor. Shop local. Don't go to Amazon. Check on Phil. So let me get to our main event tonight. We have a very special guest joining us. He's a local legend in the music scene. He's worked at concert venues all over. Walnut Creek, PNC, Red Hat, the Ritz. He's worked them all. And I'm sure he's got a million good stories that we can talk about. And he's worked at Redfish Music right here in town since 2008. I'm talking about Tony Dio Leonard. And if you're a friend of his, you know him as Dio. He's here tonight. So, he'll be up here in a minute. But before we get to Dio, I want to tell you, it's been a little while since I've checked my email. My inbox was so full. And I was sorting through all the junk mail, and I got to tell you, there's not very many men available in Russia, because I'm getting all these marriage proposals from hot young women like Irina and Svetlana. I'm married. I'm sorry, girls. Anyway, so I picked out an email that kind of stuck out to read for you tonight. Here it is. This is good stuff, folks. Dear Sam, I couldn't help but notice the rather convenient outcome of the ambassador contest. Wow, what a shocker. Am I sensing a little sarcasm there? Anyway, it continues. Actually, it was a little too convenient, don't you think? It's almost as if the whole thing was rigged from the start. Rigged election? I've never heard of such. Quite the coincidence, isn't it? Your show is almost as laughable as the ambassador contest, and not in a good way. But I guess when you're Sam Bass, you can get away with these things. Cheers, Jet Hatu? P.S. You know I'm never letting this go, right? You better watch your back, because you never know when I might decide to take matters into my own hands. So look, Jed, I want to assure you that the contest was not rigged. I was simply a better ambassador. Live with it. The people have decided I mean, what are you going to do? Drop an anvil on my head? I better watch out. Put something stinky in my office? Put a horse's head in my bed? So moving on. I want to talk to you about, I had thought about, since we have Dio on the show, what would we do as far as a top 5 list? And so I thought about what would my top 5 metal band names be? So with a little thought and a little bourbon, I'll let you know what I came up with. My top 5 metal band names. So before I get into this, I want to go ahead and give credit to the Up Late Art staff. They did some good work here. Number 5, Lethally Up Late. When the sun clocks out, this band of night owls clocks in. I would have killer tunes that would have you rocking so hard you'll forget what sleep even is. Unfortunately, you might also forget where your car is, who your wife is, etc., etc. It's not my fault. Blame it on the music or maybe on the alcohol. Number 4. This is my favorite, I think. Bourbon Bastards of Doom. What a great band name. Raising Hell and Glasses of Bourbon. These rockers blend smoothness and aged whiskey with the raw power of heavy metal. Cheers to the apocalypse. Number 3. Dad Joke Destruction. So I've been accused a time or two of making dad jokes. I can't help it. My metal band would be just as awful, believe me. Imagine all my dad jokes, but more dark and intense with heavy guitar solos. For example, here's one. Why did the Grim Reaper play drums? Because he always kept the beat to death. Terrible dad. Number 2, aged to perfection. Like a fine bourbon, the metalheads in my band have only gotten better with age. Their guitar solos are as smooth as a well-aged whiskey, and their stage presence is as bold as a double shot of bourbon. Cheers. Whew. I'm starting to feel like I've been doing too much headbanging lately. And my number 1 heavy metal band name is Pickleball Pummelers. Of course, you know I hate pickleball, right? Our main gimmick would be biting the heads off pickleball players, game, set, match. We'll be right back. Look out, Jamie. We'll be right back. Sit tight with my good friend, Tony Dio Leonard. Do not go anywhere.
Metro Maintenance has provided fast, reliable services in Nash, Edgecombe, and Halifax counties for over 35 years. Metro Maintenance offers services for residential, commercial, and institutional facilities. These services include heating and cooling, electrical, plumbing, and general repairs. Our numerous years of experience, knowledge, and resources help us to accomplish our mission of serving our customers with superior service achieved through integrity and hard work. All of our work is guaranteed. For service, call 252-977-2730 or find us on the web at metro-maintenance.com.
Phil's Music Exchange of Wilson offers thousands of vinyl LPs, CDs, cassettes, 8 tracks. They even have reel-to-reels, DVDs, Blu-rays, VHS, video games, an abundance of music for the music lover. Check them out today. Phil's Music Exchange in Tarboro, 207 West Tarboro Street, downtown Wilson, or philsmusicexchange.com.
Welcome back. As promised, my good friend Tony Dio Leonard is here. Dio, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Great to be here, Sam.
So you've had quite a journey in the music industry, working at concert venues and at Redfish. So what are some of the most memorable moments in your career so far?
Well, I got into music when I was a teenager, of course, and it kind of branched out from there, and just kind of always been behind the scenes and worked with bands, booking, management, roadieing. Kind of moved on from there into kind of staging my own concerts and stuff. I used to do the Wilson Fairgrounds shows. We called them Metal Fest, and we did those out there for years. And then I did some writing for some magazines, just reviewing albums and concerts and stuff like that. And eventually I got offered a job at Walnut Creek as a runner. And what a runner does is you're running errands for the bands, because when they get there, they're from out of town, the crew and everything. They don't know where to go get laundry done or get bus stock or whatever they need, propane tanks or whatever. So we have to take care of them. So, and sometimes we have to take the artist places. You would think they'd be in limousines and stuff, but they're in a car with us. Usually, most of the time they provide us a vehicle to use, like an SUV or a van or something. So I got to meet a lot of cool people, working those shows. Just some that come to mind. I mean, I drove Gene Simmons to the hotel one night after a Kiss show. And I don't usually get starstruck, but that one was kind of tough to get through because I've been a Kiss fan since I was, 7 or 8 years old. Neil Diamond. I took Neil Diamond from the old Brownstone Hotel on Hillsborough Street. I drove him right in the back of PNC Arena for his concert. And he had his daughter with him, and he was very talkative, and he was asking about NC State and all, because we were going right by and stuff. And it's just been tons of people over the years. Sometimes the crew people are really cool, and you meet people who used to work with somebody years ago, and they'll pick up, because like I said, most people call me Dio. So they're like, Dio, I used to work with Dio or something. So you meet a lot of cool people. And so it's been fun, and I've been working at Redfish since like 2008, and you meet all the locals around here, because I know most of the musicians in the area because I've been around here for so long. Right. Been going out and seeing live shows and just trying to support the local artists.
So every time I talk to Dio, he's been somewhere and done something with some huge band somewhere. So I used to have hair as long as his, by the way. You might not believe it looking at me now, but I did.
I've seen your old photos on Facebook. Yeah.
So what made you fall in love with music as a young person?
My father was a big music fan. He loved country music, of course, and he turned me on to that when I was really small. And my brother was a musician, and didn't grow up around him because he was much older than me, but he would turn me on to bands and stuff like that. A lot of times just talking, like you remember me talking about Leonard Skinner and stuff like that, and turn me on to them. But Kiss was the breakout band for me, because when I was 8, I got a Kiss tape on 8-track, by the way, from Tape City right here in Rocky Mount.
Yep.
And that just opened up my world to things bigger, and it just kind of went from there. I mean, I was a fan of music through, my younger days and stuff. I remember, sitting watching like American Bandstand or Midnight Special. If I'd set up that late to stay awake, and putting the tape recorder in front of the TV set and recording the artist, as they performed.
That's the way we did it back in the day.
Yep.
So who were your biggest influences growing up?
As far as musicians and stuff?
Yeah, music.
Well, Kiss was the big band for me. I mean, I just always loved them. And I think the next one was, I got in my early teens, I got into Van Halen. Right. And that's when I really started appreciating like guitar playing, because Eddie Van Halen's just, out of this world. And just kind of went from there. I mean, I like a lot of different stuff. Everybody thinks I'm just like a full-on metalhead. I love like 80s metal and stuff like that. But I mean, I love the Eagles and Leonard Skinner and a lot of stuff like that. Even some stuff like Johnny Cash and stuff like that as well.
I was going to ask you, what are your the other music you like other than metal?
A lot of 80s stuff. I mean, so this coming week we're going to see Rick Springfield. Me and Linda are going to see Rick Springfield.
He's at Weldon Mills.
Weldon Mills. He sure is.
Not Weldon Mills, but
yeah, that's what it is. The theater there. But yeah, he rocks. I mean, he's got some rocking songs. It's not wimpy at all, But I like a lot of stuff, different stuff. Newer stuff. I mean, like Blackberry Smoke is a really cool newer band, and there's a lot of newer bands coming out now that sound like older bands. They kind of have a throwback sound, you know. So, yeah.
So I heard you're somewhat of a cat guy. Is this true?
Yeah, I have a cat.
So tell me a little about your kitty cat. We're going to talk about your dog Reaper too.
Yep. Oh, I have a cat, Roxy. I've had her. She's probably 10 years old. And then we have Reaper, which is my girlfriend Linda's Chihuahua, who is spoiled rotten. And he has his little clothes that he wears. He has his little heavy metal patch vest with all the bands on it and stuff. And and the cat and the dog don't like each other at all. They tolerate each other, but they don't like each other.
I get that. See, you've done some podcasts. You joined in on some podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, during the pandemic, we're sitting home and I discovered YouTube, all these people being interviewed, these people having podcasts on YouTube.
Right.
One of them was Sea of Tranquility. I enjoyed watching that show. And then they had a couple of offshoots from that. And a guy named Stephen Keeler has a record store in Middletown, New York called Rock Fantasy. And he started his podcast called the Rock Fantasy Files. Mm-hmm. So we'll come in on Zoom. It'll be a panel of maybe, 5 or 6 of us. We'll have a subject and a music subject, and we'll talk about that,
Mm-hmm.
And each week is something like rating different albums or, what's your favorite concert you ever been to or something,
Uh-huh.
and it goes into detail from there. And then, so I do that, Rock Fantasy Files. I also joined one with me and a couple other guys called Dudes Talking Metal. And same thing, we just have a subject each week. And then I'm also with one called Almost Human that we do live on Thursday nights. And that's with my friend Ralph Vieira, and he's down in Florida. And he's the king of YouTube podcasts. I mean, he's been doing it for like over 10 years now.
So you had one called Ride Down Tobacco Road. What is that?
Ride Down Tobacco Road. I don't know what that one is.
We got some bad information, folks. So he's on podcasts. That one is not one of them. So when you're not working at concerts, what do you do in your free time?
Usually watch TV. Yeah, watching podcasts on YouTube. And whatever TV shows, we're always watching something. I mean, Linda's a big horror fan, so we've always got some horror movie on or something. And Halloween's coming up, so everything's on now.
Yeah. It's that time of year.
Yeah.
So are there any hobbies or interests that might surprise people? I mean, you're not knitting?
No.
Or nothing like that?
No, I mean, music's pretty much my life. I mean, I collect records, you know that. I've seen you at the record shows, and we know Phil down at Phil's Music, and that's fun. I've been collecting music now since I was a teenager. I think the last I looked, there is an app you can use, or a website called Discogs, where you can kind of like catalog your collection.
Right.
And I think the last time I looked, I was up to like 7,500 pieces.
Wow.
And that's records, CDs, tapes, 8 tracks, everything.
People think I'm crazy because I still buy 8 tracks.
I like the novelty of them. I'll pick them up most of the time when I find them. And once I do have an 8-track player. I have one of the old Panasonic plunger ones, like the TNT.
Remember those.
And when you put a tape in it, a lot of times the tape will break. The leader tape will break because it's dry rotted.
Exactly.
But it's the novelty of it's cool. But some of those things are expensive. I mean, I've seen some of them go for a lot of money.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Phil's. So I know you're a big record collector, just like he is, and I am too. So what is the most prized possession you have found collecting records? Vinyl, people.
I've got some cool pieces. I've got like the very first, it's a promo record that Van Halen sent out before their first album. It's just a sampler album. That was a real cool piece to add. People are always giving me stuff too, over the years. My good friend Dennis Cristiano gifted me a bunch of records, and one of them is a pretty rare one. It's there's a metal label called Metal Blade Records, and their first release ever was called Metal Massacre, and that was in 1982. And it's the first appearance of Metallica's on there. They even spelled Metallica's name wrong on the album. and that's the first appearance. And those records are really highly collectible.
That is very cool. So I want to throw some pictures up.
Okay.
We'll talk about them.
All right.
So the first one is you and Alice Cooper. Tell me about that experience. Now, you know, I'm a huge Alice Cooper fan.
Mm-hmm.
Not the guy, the group.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah. Well, you know, we've talked before about the original Alice Cooper guitar player, Michael Bruce. I first met him in like 1995, and he was playing a little club that I used to book bands at in Garner, and he stayed at my friend's house for several days, and we'd go over and watch Alice Cooper bootleg videos with him, and he would sit there and tell us all about the lighting and the stuff that didn't work. So that was really cool. But first time I met Alice, I think in person, Alice Cooper, the man, that was in, I think it was 2001 or 2. And our friend Tim Bunn was with us.
Yep.
And that was the first meeting with him. Then I met him a year later. I had a friend in radio, and he got us backstage, and Alice spent time with us. It wasn't one of these meet and greets where they, you know, you pay a bunch of money and they scoot you through like cattle, you know, and we got to spend time with him. I remember,
very cool.
I remember the lady, my friend, the DJ guy, his wife was trying to take photos of us, and I'm standing there with Alice, and this is pre-cell phone, you know, cameras, and she hit the wrong button on the camera, and the batteries fell out.
Oh God!
And Alice is standing next to me. He just ribs me, and he goes, "Man, I bet she's something at Christmas." And it's Alice.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
So we got another picture of you and Johnny Winter.
Yeah, I saw Johnny about a year before he passed away. He played at the Moorhead Theater down in Moorhead City. I'd seen him a couple times before that. I never got to see Johnny in his heyday, and now he's, you know, he was pretty broke down by then. He has to sit in a chair and play. He can't stand up. But he sat in his RV after the show, and they brought us in one by one into the RV and he would sign whatever you had and talk to you. And very, very nice man. I hated to see him pass on. He lived a long life and a rough one as well, you know.
Most of those guys live a rough life.
Yeah.
So we got another picture of my main man, Lemmy, bass player. Tell me about it.
Motorhead. Lemmy.
Motorhead.
That was great. I'd met Lemmy several times. The first time I ever met Lemmy was in 1997. I was in the Rainbow Bar and Grill in Los Angeles, and he was sitting at his space at the bar, and I went up and I spoke to him, and the music's loud, and I couldn't understand what he was saying because his accent's so thick, and the music was so loud. But I'm thinking, this is Lemmy, and he's talking to me, you know. But I met him a couple times after. I think that photo that we show here, I think that's in like 2003 maybe, and that was at an after party. I worked at a record label for a while in Raleigh too, called Sanctuary Records, and Motorhead was on the label.
I have an actual inside story with my daughter in the song Ace of Spades. Well, we were playing cards at the beach one time, so that is funny. Another one, Ricky Medlock. Lynyrd Skynyrd, tell me about that.
Ricky's a great guy. I met Ricky first time in the early 90s when he was touring with Blackfoot as his own after the original band had broken up, and probably a couple years before he joined Lynyrd Skynyrd. And every time I'd go see him, he always remembered me and stuff. And even when he joined Lynyrd Skynyrd, I would work shows at Walnut Creek, and he'd see me. He'd always come and speak to me. Actually, the day after 9/11, we had a Lynyrd Skynyrd concert that almost was canceled, but they decided to donate the money to the Red Cross. And I actually had to go to Chapel Hill that day and pick Ricky and the bassist and drummer up, and for that. And he was like, "Wow, look who's driving!" You know, when I pulled up, you know. But yeah, that was probably one of the most memorable concerts I've ever worked too, because they sent us out as runners to look for stuff that day. They sent us out to find some American flags, and this was about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And on the 12th, the day after, and I couldn't find them. They were sold out everywhere.
The day after 9/11 was a big thing for American flags.
It was. And, you know, they did the concert to kind of give everybody some, you know, maybe hope that things could move on, you know. But when they played Freebird that night, that wasn't a dry in the house, man. They actually put up some montage and stuff up on the video screen and stuff. Yeah, it was pretty heavy.
I want to ask you about Ronnie James Dio.
Yep. That's kind of where I got the namesake. I was the Dio name comes from some kids in school called me Dio because I had a Dio back patch on I was actually hand painted on the back of my jean jacket, and I wore Dio shirts a lot. And when I started roadieing with rock band right after high school, I was awarded this band from Rocky Mount called Onyx, and everybody in the band had a nickname. And one of the guys in the band, Robert Tyner, he was one of the guys that called me Dio back in school, so it just kind of stuck. And more people know me by Dio. Coming into the internet age with Facebook and all, you got to put your real name. So a lot of people call me Tony when they see me out, but anybody around here calls me Dio. Anybody that's known me for, 25 years or so. But I met Ronnie James Dio many times, and he was one of the greatest, just nicest guys ever, greatest metal vocalist of all time. And he was always very, very cool with his fans. I've seen him stand in the snow, outside in the snow, out by his bus, signing autographs for 40 minutes in the snow. He's just a great guy. I always will remember your name, and just the greatest.
So I got another picture. Speaking of famous personalities, I've got a picture of us two taken a few years back. Do you remember this? My memory's a little blurry. What were we doing? Do you remember?
That's the photo with Tim Bunn in it as well. We were at the Alice Cooper concert.
Right.
That was at was that the one? That was Deepak, wasn't it?
No, downtown Raleigh.
Memorial.
Yep.
Yeah, Memorial Auditorium. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I remember. Good time, great time.
Great show.
I got one favorite question I always ask everybody. So if you came to Sam's Shack, it's my little backyard bar. It's not a real bar, by the way, folks. Don't try to come over there. So if you wanted to smoke something, whatever it is, listen to an album and have a drink, what would it be?
What would the album be?
Album, drink, and what do you want to smoke?
Well, I don't smoke, so
okay.
I'll have a Yingling to drink, and if I'm coming to your place, we're going to listen to some old Alice Cooper for sure.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Classic Alice Cooper.
Yep.
Before it was a guy, it was a group.
Yeah. It's got to be Killer or Love It to Death.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So finally, how do you want to be remembered in the world? What legacy do you hope to leave behind?
Just that I was a big music supporter, that people know me from that,
That is an understatement. So this guy the music world is very appreciative of Dio, and so am I. He is really the guy in Rocky Mount and Eastern North Carolina and North Carolina for a fact for music. Mm-hmm. So I know that. Now you know that.
Yeah, come see me at Redfish and buy you a guitar or a drum set.
So before I go, I got a special gift for you. Mm-hmm. This is new, by the way, in black. Not everybody has. They're sought after. The official Up Late with Sam Bass t-shirt in black.
Now look at this. This is sweet.
You've got to wear that.
I will. I'll wear it proudly.
QR code.
Yep. WHIG. This is awesome. Thank you, Sam.
Buddy, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. You're a great guy in the community. We'll be right back. Hey, before we leave, I want to introduce our Maggie Society Pet of the Week. Introducing Bacon Bits, a 3-month-old delight from our baked potato pup collection. Just kidding. I wouldn't recommend sprinkling him on a baked potato. But like the real Bacon Bits, his playful spirit is contagious, and he is a master at fetch. Currently about 8 pounds, Bacon Bits is also a snuggle aficionado, just like me. And his small size matters, makes him ideal for any home or lap. He has a very friendly demeanor and a heart brimming with love, like me. And he is eagerly searching for a family to share his happiness with. So if you want to find out more about Bacon Bits, and of course you do, contact the Maggie Society today.